All right, now this is a pretty much like a discussion video. I mean, in regards to real life, and yeah, I've shared personal stories on this channel. To be honest, I really need to continue on my Liberty University series. I think that I dropped 3 or 4 parts to that. I think it was what Confessions of a Liberty University alumnus, basically talking about my time at Liberty as well as getting into my time as a worker at the school in the online department. But maybe when the haves and the have-nots goes on hiatus sometime after next month, that's when I'll have plenty of time to hit the ground running and catch up on all these other series that I wanted to do. But this is kind of like, just an open question because, since I study the channel very closely, I know that almost 80% of my audience is female, so maybe you all can chime in. And I know that not only that there are males on the channel, but the age group ranges. So I just wanted to ask you all the question, when it comes to like asking someone out, and I want to say specifically when guys ask girl out. Now, I'm not saying this to I guess you could say isolate specific groups of people, guys who ask guys out, girls who ask girls out, or guys that ask girls out, or girls that ask guys out. I'm just saying from my perspective because, I'm interested in women, so I really just wanted to get perspective from, guys like me who are wondering about the whole aspect of, is the saying true when they say, why don't you just ask the girl out? The worst she can say is no. Now, if you haven't noticed by being on this channel, if you're new to the channel and you haven't had time to dive into some of my videos, then you might not know, but I am an extreme overthinker because I don't like to, but it's kind of a natural reaction or an instinct or a reflex to instantly think about the worst scenario possible instead of making a move. And I know from experience that the worst thing she could say is no is not true at all. And honestly, this did happen recently to me, so that kind of sucks. But hey, I took my shot. Basically, this was somebody I've been crushing on for a while, but I finally got the nerve to ask him out in person. This wasn't like a asking out through text thing, because I feel at least during the first trying to ask out for the first time, you definitely want to do that in person. Afterwards, when you start to get to know each other even better, I get that people prefer to be asked out in person, but sometimes, especially with work schedules and everything, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that when you look at things from a logical perspective, if you know somebody well enough, maybe you'll ask them, hey, I had fun. Would you like to go out again? Typically, you would ask that at the end of the first date, but it really depends. You don't know. I mean, everybody has different experiences when they go out on dates, but I found that during my time, let me just put it this way. I'm sorry if I'm beating around the bush, but I really don't go into personal life stories a lot on this channel, but because it's kind of very vulnerable. Because I'm not afraid to talk about my religion, my faith, the fact that I'm waiting until marriage. Save myself for marriage. That stuff I'm not embarrassed about because that's my choices. But when it comes to being rejected, that sucks, because that's like you leave yourself vulnerable. And I'm a very introverted person, because you might not guess that based off my demeanor when it comes to live streams and me just getting behind the mic talking, with a enthusiastic, energetic voice. But yeah, I'm a very reserved person. So when I finally open up a little just to let somebody else in and get rejected, it sucks. And I know I was speaking earlier about how I wanted to really only focus on guys out there to ask girls, or girls who might want to chime in with this, but just for everyone that's listening in general, rejection sucks. And believe it or not, rejection was kind of a reason why I started this. Well, I left my job to pursue YouTube full time because it's something I controlled, aside from YouTube, flagging crap and demonetization. But the fact that I remember being stuck in my job, filling out updating my resume, filling out job applications, but being rejected time and time again. Rejection hurts. It's not just, from a dating perspective, love life perspective. It's in all walks of life. When you apply for a job, when you ask somebody out, even something as simple as, trying to join a club, like an organization, and you get rejected from that, it sucks. But, and even friends, even friendship, that can be a crappy being rejected from that. But I just wanted to say that what really gets me is the worst she can say is no. I'm not going to lie. In some cases, the best thing a person can say is no. I mean, true yes is a good thing, because yes is like, oh, wow, okay. But then you agonize about the whole date situation, and then you get in a relationship. And if it doesn't work out, it's just like, man, I wish she would have said no. And then no leads to you being semi-depressed, but you eventually get over it. But yeah, getting a yes does say a lot. That really, that does really, make things better. But I feel like Plankton from SpongeBob, I think it was like one episode where he finally got into the Krusty Krab, and he disguised there was a robot that ordered something, and then he offered a penny, and then Mr. Krabs picked it up, and then Plankton jumped it out, and he was just like, yeah, Krabs, I made it in two here to steal your formula. And Mr. Krabs like, okay, now, no, he's like, Plankton, you knew I would never mistrust a dollar. So what are you going to do now? I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far. That's pretty much what it is, because honestly, I fear the worst before I even get an answer. So if a girl says yes, now I'm very anxious, because it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? That kind of stuff. And I'm sorry to be babbling, but again, I'm just trying to give you my thought process, because I know you're probably not used to hearing me like this, because when it comes to my theories, they're generally well thought out, planned, elaborate. I go through phase 1, phase 50 when I'm doing the have and have not theory. But when it comes to real life, there is a lot of stuff that I get nervous about and I fully don't understand. And that's not to say that I have any kind of social anxiety issues or anything, because again, my degree is in communications. I have no issue getting on stage to present something or speak. I've done it countless times. But when it comes to romantic interest, yeah, that's tough. But I hate it when girls, and I'm not going to say the girl's name because I'm not going to give her any recognition, like that way people look her up and then she gets followers and crap. But it really sucks when a girl tells you something that is a bold-faced lie. It's kind of like, if you want me to throw a have and have not reference in there, how about this? When Derek was leaving Veronica's house, it's like, I would have had more respect for you if you would have tried to seduce me than to blackmail me. Now I don't have any. And then, he left. Yeah, I've heard all kinds of excuses before. Like, I think the funniest one was when I asked a girl for a phone number, and she's like, oh, I'm dyslexic. And the ironic part was that she was a cashier at a grocery store. So, I know about affirmative action and not discriminating due to handicaps, but I'm pretty sure if you're dyslexic, you wouldn't be allowed to work at a cashier. So, yeah. And with this girl, it's just like, I mean, the excuse was just so wow. I mean, like Derek, I should have pulled a Derek in that moment. It's like, you know what? I would have had more respect for you if you would have just told me no instead of lying with some elaborate, just random, I don't know. Because I don't even know how to put it into words, because the excuse she gave, like, look, I'm in the midst of this Me Too movement and Time's Up crap. Best believe I am not trying to push myself up on a woman. I am no. I've never even been about that, even before this whole movement stuff. But I'm just saying that it wasn't and guys, before you judge, it's like, it's not because it's summertime and girls are wearing less clothing. It wasn't like this. This is somebody I've been crushing on for a while. I just finally got up the nerve to ask her out. But when you're talking with somebody and, you're just having a general conversation, like, hey, yeah, this week was tough at work. I finally caught up on all my homework. I think she's in grad school. I forgot. Yeah, she's in grad school. She has a specific position at the job she works at, and we talk on the regular, so I know in terms of how much work she has, because she tells me. And I caught up on everything. I cleaned the house, took my cats to the vet. Everything is good to go. And I think maybe later on in the conversation I asked her out to the movies and have dinner, because we've been friends for a while. And then the excuse is flat out, you know, oh, thanks, but I can't because I have so much work I need to catch up on. And it's just like, not even 10 minutes ago, you literally told me everything was done. Like, you know, so I just kind of brushed it off, to be honest, because it was one of those situations where I knew you were lying. Because you look, anybody in the comments, I know girls can be like, well, Jeremy, what if, I know girls don't talk like that, but it's almost 2:30 and my voice isn't at full capacity right now. And you're probably like, Jeremy, well, what if she did have work she didn't tell you about? And I'm just like, I was thinking that, but then the more I thought about it after the conversation was over, I'm just like, yeah, she's not interested, so, you know, it's whatever. I mean, we're still cool. It's just like I don't really have that much. I don't have that same level of respect, because when you're friends with somebody, yes, it is a very scary thought to ask your friend out, because if they say no, your friendship won't be the same, because now they'll know that you have potential feelings for them, and since they didn't reciprocate because they only see you as a friend, then you had to deal with, oh my god, did I get friend zoned, and how do I look them in the eye the next time we talk, and all this other stuff. But for me, it's like, I would rather you just simply tell me, it's like, hey, I appreciate it, but I don't really see you in that way as a, you know, I don't really like you like that, but we're good friends. Even though that kind of sucks, at least I would know that, number one, you were honest with me. I know where I stand with you. And hey, if you didn't want to go out on a date, it's like, well, hey, for example, because we both like similar things, hey, we waited 14 years. Incredibles 2 is out now. You want to go this weekend? Sure. Yeah, that's cool. But to just literally lie like that, it just goes back to how I disagree with the whole, you know, the worst a girl can say is no. I get it, as an overthinker, no isn't a bad answer, but part of me would still think that, well, I need to know why. And then when you try to know why, that makes things worse, because you might find out something that you didn't want to know. So let me just put it this way. The saying, the worst she could say is no, I don't believe in it, because I've experienced it. And by experienced, I mean that I've heard worse things than no. So yeah, that's my story of the night. So yeah, you probably, I know you're probably not used to me doing this, but I just felt like, you know, getting behind the mic, not to rant, because obviously I'm too exhausted to be angry. But yeah, it just kind of hurts, because, you know, especially when it's a friend, you think they'll be honest with you, but to have somebody that's close to you lie to you like that, that just shows you, you know, where you stand with them. But also, I guess you could say, how they really are as people. But this happened a couple of days ago, but strangely enough, I'm going to be honest here, how she told me she has a lot of work to do and couldn't go to the movies. And how come I went on Instagram and saw that you were at the movie that I invited you to, and you were with a quote unquote friend that happened to be male. So you know what, that's all good. You know, I'm going to be, don't worry about Jeremy. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be okay. I'm just going to chill. What's today? It is Friday. I want to find something to do. You know me, I've already recorded a bunch of videos ready for you all fans to enjoy on the channel. So I might not have a specific love interest in real life, but I got you guys. And you know, in the comments below, if you have any stories similar to what I said before about, you know, the worst person say is no, you know, just feel free to let me know. I mean, if you don't want to share, that's okay, but you know, this is a safe place. So if you want to share any stories like that, trust me, I got a ton of them. But yeah, it really does suck. But just going back on a semi-positive note, I think earlier in the video I mentioned that one of the reasons I did YouTube full time was because I was sick of my old job, but I was being rejected so many times from other jobs I applied for, that I just figured, you know what, I got all these degrees from Liberty and other schools, and I got a fan base for my blogs, and I know a lot about TV shows, so why not just take that and run with it and see what happens. And just thank you all. I know I say this a lot, but I do not take this channel for granted, and it is cool to be running my own thing. So, I mean, with confidence. So, if I ever do have a chance to go out with somebody and they ask me what I do, I can confidently say, it's like, hey, I got my own thing, my YouTube channel, and, you know, I do eBay as well. And just a quick plug, there's a link to my eBay in the description below. I got almost 100 items for sale. If you're curious what I got, just feel free to click and see if there's something you like and you want to bid on. I got auctions that are ending on Sunday and Monday, so don't miss out. And I'm going to list more stuff soon. But yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, sit back and relax. Look, I'm sorry, like I'm not like upset. I'm just like, I'm more disappointed because I was lied to. That's what really hurts. So, you know. But with that being said, take care. You know, the worst she could say is no is bull crap. But also just know when to take the L and move on somewhere else. So trust and believe, like, I will not be asking this specific person out anymore. But also it's one of those things where a friend of mine, I think my roommate actually, wait, was it my roommate or another friend? It's like, you know what, Jeremy, that's all good, because one of these days this channel of yours is really going to blow up and you're going to be famous or something like that. Or maybe Tyler Perry invites you down to the studio so you can come down, meet some of the stars, and all these girls that you're interested in but never wanted you or rejected you, they're going to be blowing up your DMs. And when that happens, you know what to do. Yeah, not answer, for one, or make up my own lies. But to be honest, I ain't about that life. But you know, it is what it is. So thanks so much for listening. If you made it this far in the video, first of all, wow, I'm surprised you did. But hit that subscribe button if you want more, because trust and believe, these are rare gems of videos. I don't really do personal videos like that. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here and say that, yeah, my experience sucked, but just got to keep pressing on. Just got to keep pressing on. So thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you find other videos on the channel that you enjoy, and I'll talk to you soon.